Hey guys, how are you doing? It's Martin Cliffe, and in this video, as promised, I thought I would give a quick tour of my pedal board, the way it's set up. It's expanded significantly, not in terms of buying new kit, but just adding new things. So this is going to be a very quick talk through, and then coming soon there will be a proper playthrough of some of the different facets of it. But let me move the camera onto the board and you can see what's going on. Okay, so if I do a full pan across the board, there's a lot of stuff on there, and there's actually a couple of things underneath that you can't even see. It's two Pedal Train Novo 18 boards, and the way it's set up, essentially the front rows of the pedals go to two separate amps. So that the white loop minimal there, the front button selects between red and green. Now red is the front row of the left pedal board, which goes to my more martially set ignitor tweaker, and the green goes to the front row of this board, and then to the more Fendery sounding ignitor tweaker. Obviously all these terms are loose, but that's just two tweakers, one in the USA mode and one in the British mode. So it all starts with the Gigrig 321 input selector at the back there. It's kind of out of the way because it's not something I'm going to need to change on the fly in a hurry or anything. And it's a 3 input selection switch, and I've got it set up so that there's a mute on it as well, so I can mute all my inputs. There's only two things in it at the moment, channel 1 and 2, because generally, say in the studio, basically channel 1 goes to my lead goes to a right angle jack, and channel 2 is a straight jack for the guitars, my Ibanez JS's and my Telecaster that don't accept right angle jacks. And from there, the signal then goes into the white loop from one control, and yeah, the two loops. So then the green loop then goes, it's my Sheba Drive limited edition, my Jackrabbit, my Koji Comp, and my ISO boost. It then goes out via the Goodwood Audio Audrey box, which basically it is a patching box. I'm just using it because I didn't have enough inputs and outputs on my patch bay, but there's also a pass through there for a 9 volt if I need it at any point, just a supplementary 9 volt. And if you don't plug anything into the outputs, it just links the in to the out. So it's a very simple simple box, but it's quite useful. I have actually, which I should have mentioned, there is another Audrey that's under the white loop, partly because I needed to raise it up, and partly because that then enables me, if I need to patch in a wah pedal or something, a fuzz maybe before anything on the board, I can patch that in. So yeah, the signal goes out to the amp from the Audrey, it comes back in into the Audrey from the send of the amp, and then via a smart gate. Now you can only see one, but there are two because there's one underneath the board, one set for each amp. So it goes into the smart gate and then back into the white loop minimal, and then the red loop from that, this end goes via this patch bay is a Gigrig Chinko, and there's one on each board. So it goes across to this. There are 3 cables connecting the two boards together, 3 audio cables anyway. So it comes in here, and then it feeds into the Rufus fuzz. From the Rufus fuzz it goes into the tuner and the vibe pedal, which is my old trusty Sweet Sound Mofo vibe. Then comes down to the Coco Boost reloaded, the Sheba Drive reloaded, the Riot, and the Dual Boost. And then at that point it goes out via the patch bay, the socket labelled red out, goes to the red amp, and then that comes back to what's labelled red send on this board via the other smart gate. I don't know which smart gate is which, I'd need to trace the cables for that, but it doesn't really matter because they're both set pretty much the same. And then into the red return, and I can select between the 2 amps just by pressing this foot switch. So that's the green amp and the green chain, that's the red chain, and it's basically 2 complete loops that I can just press with 1 button. So I can preset my next sound while I'm playing through one sound, but as well as having the flexibility of just choosing the individual pedals that I want. From there then we go into the Mobius, and then there in stereo to the timeline. That then goes back to the patch bay, 2 wires go across to the other patch bay. That then comes in stereo into the Big Sky, in stereo to the Ditto X2, and then out to the Goodwood Audio output, which you can switch between stereo as it is at the moment and dual mono. So if you're only running 1 amp or you're running 2 amps but you want them to be separate, the same signal, it collapses the signal down to mono in a very sort of satisfactory way, and the 2 signals then go to the amps. So the left board, as you can see, is powered by a Decibel 11 Hotstone Deluxe. The right board, you can't see it, but it's powered by a True Tone One Spot Pro CS12, basically because it was the one thing that had enough outputs in terms of what I needed to power, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward. All the cables on this board are DiMarzio jumper cables. I've managed to acquire enough from various countries around the world. I really like them because they're very, very rugged, and they sound great as well. Nothing against the Evidence Audio ones or the Lava ones, both of which I've used on other boards in the past, but I just like these. They're low profile and they're very solid and they work. There is also a MIDI cable that you can just see going across from one board to another. Basically the 3 Strymon pedals are MIDI together. At the moment I haven't got it set up, but it's plugged in ready so that when I change a patch on the Big Sky, in theory it should automatically change patches on the timeline and the Mobius. And once I figure that out, it's not that I don't understand that, I just haven't got around to doing it, then that'll be set up so that I don't need to then jump between 3 different settings on the Big Sky and 2 on the timeline and 2 on the Mobius. Now, a lot of people have asked on pictures I posted on things what these big circular buttons are, and they're made by a company in Hawaii called Barefoot Buttons. They're either aluminium or acrylic buttons that just screw on. The acrylic ones is fairly obvious. There are 3 screws that just screw into the side of your standard foot switch, and it just makes it easier to press. In the studio here I'm mostly not wearing shoes, so it's much more comfortable to press. My Sweet Sound Vibe in particular has a very tough switch to press, so it gives you a bit more surface area, you don't require as much pressure, it doesn't hurt your feet as much. And also the other advantage is on the Strymon pedals, where you need to press 2 buttons at once to bank up and down. It's much easier because there's much less distance between the 2 foot switches. So there we go, that's the pedal board. As I say, I will be doing a playthrough of it. Everything is discreetly powered, pretty much. I think there are a couple of pedals running off the same tap on the left board, but other than that everything is discreet. And it really works, sounds really good. So yeah, well, I'll look forward to the audio demos of it. But it's really versatile. It's not the most practical rig in the world because it does take up the 2 pedal boards, but it's worth it for the sound. And yeah, there are 6 cables then running from the board to the amps, which is again a little bit crazy. At the moment I'm using Planet Waves American Stage cables between the board and the amp. I may in studio replace them with my Lava ELC cables, but I'll still use the Planet Waves ones live, primarily because they're thinner and they're more flexible, so they're easier to run. But they both sound great. I'm just as happy with Lava and with the Planet Waves cables. Okay, I hope that was interesting and useful. So I'm going to do a playthrough video of this, playing some different sounds. What I'll probably do is take the two boards separately in terms of the way the amps are set and all that kind of stuff. You can see the amps behind me, they're just my two Ignitor tweakers, and yeah, it works. Okay guys, till next time, take care, and I'll speak to you soon.